parking lot to the south and connect with the garage. There would be no access from Parkgate Avenue. The paved surface will be nearly 25 feet from Parkgate Avenue with a planted row of bushes along the north and a fence along the east side to provide screening. Petitioner states that a portion of the office building at 539 White Pond remains vacant due to the limited amount of parking, and the expansion of the parking lot would be utilized for staff within the offices along White Pond Drive. The goal of the Land Use and Development Guide Plan is to protect and preserve residential neighborhoods. The existing brick single-family dwelling appears to be in good condition and contributes to the overall viability of this residential neighborhood along Parkgate Avenue. The demolition of a home in this desirable neighborhood for the expansion of an asphalt parking lot is contrary to sound planning principles. Raising the home would not only reduce the taxable value of the land, but would be disruptive to and not harmonious with the abutting residential uses to the east and the north. Furthermore, the office property appears to have enough area east of its existing parking for an expansion. A viable alternative would be to expand the parking lot onto the area that is now set aside for stormwater detention with the installation of underground storage tanks that are able to control stormwater runoff. The planning staff recommends disapproval of the petition, while the Planning Commission recommends approval. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to open up our public hearing. Do we have anyone here in the audience or online who wishes to speak in favor or against? If so, just going to ask that you please stand so that you may be sworn in by our clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will begin with those who wish to speak in favor of item number 1. Those wishing to speak in favor.
Good evening, I'm Apostolette, and I am in support of this legislation. And I would ask that you make sure that the owners of this lot upkeep the property, the lot, and that you have the necessary amenities and make sure that it remains safe and secure for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Good afternoon, I'm Bob Constant. I'm the attorney for the applicant here for the conditional use. I think Mr. Antonucci pretty much laid out the use. A couple things I want to specify is that my client built the building in 2019. They have about 3,000 feet empty right now, and part of that is because they're so busy with their oral surgery practice that there's no parking for the other 3,000 feet. What they're proposing to do is, right now they have 2 oral surgeons full-time at the facility with 7 medical assistants for each surgeon. They'd like to bring in a 3rd oral surgeon and hire 7 new medical assistants to assist that surgeon, but they need the parking for that. So the proposal you have before you tonight is to take the property on Parkgate. We're not going to have a curb cut. We're going to connect it all through the existing property off of White Pond, and that'll be employee-only parking that'll be used business days, 8 to 5, no weekends, no evenings. No substantial in and out because it'll be employee parking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak against? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what is the committee's pleasure?
I'd like to pull the committee to refer this item. Connor? Boys?
Aye.
Committee wishes to refer.
Thank you.
Notice is hereby given that the following open comment public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, February 10th, 2025, during a special meeting to be held at 5 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a 2-family dwelling at 161 Hillbush Avenue. This notice was advertised in the Akron Beacon Journal on January 25th and on the Akron City Council website beginning January 22nd.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, Madam President, members of council. The petitioner is requesting permission to construct a 2-family dwelling at this location. Submitted plans show the dwelling to be set back 25 feet from the front property line to match neighboring homes. The units will be 2-story and set side by side, each with 3 bedrooms. The driveway is located north of the building to enable parking behind the building line. This bungalow-style duplex will have a centered front porch over both entrances and extend 8 feet from the facade. The stick-built home will have vinyl siding and trim, a composite shingle roof, and fiberglass windows. Petitioner states that the original home on the property had burned down. The goal of the Land Use and Development Guide Plan is to promote a variety of new housing types to meet the requirements and desires of the city's population. The proposed design and siting of the home is compatible with other dwellings in the surrounding neighborhood, while the size of the lot at 7,800 square feet is larger than most in the neighborhood, affording adequate open space and parking for this two-family house. And the planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thanks.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to open up our public hearing. Do we have anyone in the chambers or online who wishes to speak in favor or against?
Madam President, we do have one person that signed up for online. I can swear you in now. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you.
David Gross, 24600 Hazelmere, Beechwood, Ohio. I'm the architect representing the Abdel-Jawad brothers who wish to live next door to their father so they could keep a close-knit community, keep an eye on the garden that they share, and also with their parents' health. It's a nice sized lot, and as Mr. Antonucci has stated, it's big enough to fit the two-family home. We intend to make the home look like the other homes on the street, so it'd fit in nicely, and we feel that it'll be a good complement to the rest of the community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gross. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Yes, I'm in favor of this legislation, and I just ask that you would have the necessary, Councilman Fusco, since this is your constituent, the necessary resources that they need. I understand they lost the first one to a disaster, and I'm all about family. So please see to it that they have whatever they need for this project and any resources they will need. And I am very much in support of this. I'm a apostolate. And I'm in Safe at Home, Ohio. That's why I don't give my address.
All right, thank you so much. If there's no one else wishing to speak in favor or against, we will close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what is the committee's pleasure?
Yeah, I'd like to pull the committee for a favorable report. It's Connor? Aye. Boys?
Aye.
Report of the committee is favorable, asking for passage. Thank you. Heard the report from Mr. Antonucci. I know the ward council person is in favor, recommending approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
This ordinance passes 10-0. Notice is hereby given that the following open comment public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, February 10th, 2025, during a special meeting to be held at 5 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a dual-use cannabis dispensary at 926 East Waterloo Road. This notice was advertised in the Akron Beacon Journal on January 25th and on the Akron City Council website beginning January 22nd.
Mr. Antonucci?
Thank you, Madam President, members of council. Pharmaceutical RX LLC is seeking permission to establish a dual-use cannabis dispensary at this location. Any medical, dual-use, or adult-use marijuana cultivation, processing, dispensing, or testing facility in the city needs conditional use approval. Additionally, this location must be reviewed and approved by Coventry Township and the State of Ohio Division of Cannabis Control. Petitioner intends to remodel the currently vacant retail building on the site to be used as a dual-use dispensary. The structure would receive a modest addition at the rear of the building, which is in Coventry Township. A new aluminum and glass storefront system would be installed, and fresh paint would be applied to the masonry exterior. Parking for 30 vehicles is available to the front of the building, which is in Akron, and a dozen additional spaces are available to the rear in Coventry. The 2,751 square foot building would require no more than 14 parking spots. A drive-through lane would encircle the building, allowing products to be picked up through a window on the east side of the facility. Lighting and video surveillance, in addition to other state requirements, for packaging and prohibited activities on the property should mitigate any negative effects on the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed use is in a heavily traveled retail district with highway access and is more than a mile from any other cannabis facility. The proposed dual-use dispensary would reactivate a vacant retail structure and is adjacent to compatible uses. As such, planning staff and planning commission recommend approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to open up our public hearing. Do we have anyone here in the audience or online that wishes to speak in favor or against? If so, we're just going to have you to be sworn in by our clerk.
Sure, we have some here in the audience, and we do have some online. I can swear you in at the same time. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we'll begin in chambers. We'll begin with those who wish to speak in favor.
Great. Hi, my name is Greg Garosby, 667 Park Edge Drive, Gahanna, Ohio. We fully accept the staff report as read by Mr. Antonucci, and want to just impress again that we are following all requirements and application procedures from the Ohio Division of Cannabis Control, as well as required zoning for Coventry Township. Again, the building lies in Coventry Township, yet the front part of the property and the ingress lies in Akron, and we are, complying with and happy to comply with the requirements of both Akron and Coventry. We're available to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak in favor? Okay, no problem. Anyone here in the chambers who wishes to speak in favor?
Against.
Okay, we'll move to those who wish to speak against.
Good evening again. I'm Apostolate. And once again, I do not give my address because I am in Safe at Home, Ohio, a protection program through the Secretary of State. I am in direct opposition to this legislation, and I've said it before. I have a real concern when we have people who don't even live in Akron bringing any type of drug facilities in Akron. I have a concern when pharmaceutical companies, make more money off of medicating issues instead of people in the community and our leaders going to the root of an issue. I have a real challenge when marijuana and marijuana facilities are an option when we have homelessness, drug addiction, gun violence, domestic violence, and all of these violences on the uprise. I have a very serious challenge when corporate America prospers financially off of the suffering of the poor, the non-white, off of women, off of children, and off of people's inadequacies. I have a very serious concern when corporate America builds its statues and its monuments and its buildings in poor communities and in communities where the arrest records are high and issues are not being addressed, and the only solution is putting a Band-Aid, putting drugs in people, and that's all marijuana is. It's a drug. But we don't come to the faith community, to the preacher, to get to the root of things. I have a very serious challenge with racist white America doing this to people of color and not having any type of accountability. I am going to be in direct opposition to this legislation and anything close to it. I am a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I do not believe that it is necessary to put drugs in a person when we have other solutions and other measures to meet the needs of people in their time of crisis. And I am directly offended when I smell marijuana on people, when I'm have a lung disease and I smell marijuana on people in passing, and people are so high that they don't even know what planet they're on, whether it's marijuana or any psychiatric or psychotropic medications or whatever. We need other solutions and we need other remedies. And we don't need people who don't live in Akron coming here to Akron and bringing their businesses in here and prospering off of the people in Akron.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online that wishes to speak against? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we're going to close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what is the committee's pleasure?
I'd like to pull a committee to refer this item. Connor? Aye. Boyce?
Aye.
Refer this for further study, thanks.
Okay, thank you. This item will be referred. If there's nothing else coming before this committee, is there a motion for adjournment? No objections, meeting adjourned.
Council will meet in regular session at 6:30. Thank you.